So we ranked the top 5 most important Chiefs going into the 2026 season. You might agree with it, you might not. Let's talk it out. How we doing, football fans? Good to see everybody rolling in here tonight. Do your boys a solid. Hit that like button on the way in. Help get this out to more people. It's the dead of the off season. I think a lot of Chiefs Kingdom has gone into hiding for a couple weeks before training camp. But, hey, let's get them in here. Let's have a good conversation. We actually put up a poll for all you guys and asked, who's the most important Chiefs player besides Patrick Mahomes going into 2026? And overwhelmingly, Chiefs Kingdom voted that it was Kenneth Walker III. And we slightly disagree with y'all. And we're going to talk about all that much more. Shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring tonight's live stream. You can check them out down in the description. And we'll have more on them here later. Mike, how are we feeling today, brother?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I like the premise of the episode tonight. It's a little bit debatable. I think we can all have some fun with it. But I feel like a lot of Chiefs Kingdom, you referenced it earlier. We'd put up the poll today besides Patrick Mahomes, so we didn't give him a chance to vote on Mahomes. I mean, he's obviously always going to be the most important key piece to anything.
Right.
But we asked who's the most important player in terms of must perform this season for the Chiefs if they want to win the Super Bowl. And we put a few guys on the screen. I'm trying to bring in the exact poll for you guys so you can take a look at it. We had Chris Jones on the board. We had Kenneth Walker on the board. We had an other, which you could vote other, or Josh Simmons was on the board. And this is what the poll numbers come out. Kenneth Walker overwhelmingly was 55%. So according to Chiefs Kingdom, it's Patrick Mahomes, then Kenneth Walker, then Chris Jones, then Josh Simmons, and there was some other at the bottom.
Right, and that's with almost 4,000 votes. So I mean,
right, so 4,000 people. Yeah. But Steve, we're not on board. We believe Patrick Mahomes is obviously number one. That's not debatable. He's the most important piece.
Of course. And you know what? We'll just go ahead and get into it. But before we do, once again, appreciate y'all being here. Hit the like button. Let's get some more people in here. Let's have some fun tonight. Also, want to see a lot of participation. English is hard. Not precipitation like outside. There's like flood warnings, but participation in the chat. I want to see what you guys think because I know a lot of people are going to have a lot of different thoughts about this. So if you have somebody that you think should be in the top 5 that we don't have, throw it out there. If there's somebody in there we have that you don't think should be there, let us know. And also, if you just don't like the way they're ranked, let us know why. But anyway, let's get to it, Mike. Number 1, you already mentioned, it has to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Kansas City's not going anywhere without Pat. Like, we've seen this for 50 years. They just can't do it until Patrick Mahomes enters the building, right? Like, even with Andy Reid, you had Alex Smith, you had all those guys. Jamal Charles. Couldn't do it until Patrick Mahomes got here. He has to be the most important player on this team, so he's obviously number 1. I don't know if you guys will agree with that because a lot of people, might think Kenneth Walker is because we need the run game. But Pat's got to be number 1. I think that's just obvious. And that's going to lead me into number 2, which if Pat is the most important player for this team and Pat is coming off a knee injury, then I think the number 2 most important player on this team is somebody that really has to show out this season, and that is left tackle Josh Simmons.
I agree. I think Josh Simmons is a key piece this year if the Chiefs are going to make a long run. Why? Patrick Mahomes is coming off the knee injury. Is he going to play early or not? Who knows? Doesn't matter. But once he does get back, you can't have him running for his life. And Josh Simmons protects Patrick Mahomes' blind side. We can't have him scrambling around for his life.
Right.
We can't do it. We can't let him take any more hits. We just cannot do it. Josh Simmons has to perform. And he looked very good. We did a video on Josh Simmons just this past week on Tuesday. Very good video. If you haven't watched it already, go back and watch it. We talk about how, look, a lot of people give him bad stigma. They said that, he left, he abandoned the team, he did this, he did that. Look, when he played the first 5 weeks of the season, he looked really good. He actually finished 6th overall from all rookie tackles per PFF. At the end of the year, he actually played 2 or 3 games when he come back, and then he ended up breaking that wrist or whatever he did to the wrist, and he looks like he's good to go. He's in good shape. He's got to have a solid year, especially in year 2, knowing that the right side is still in a little bit of a chaos.
That's where I was going to take it. Is like we're not so sure about the right side right now because Jalen Moore's going to get the first crack at it. Esapole, great in his rookie season, but still quite a bit of a question mark. And then you got Khalil Benson, who you have not seen on an NFL football field, and he didn't even get drafted. So I mean, there's a lot of question marks that right side. So if you're not solid at the blind side, that would create some trouble. We'd be having problems at both ends. And you all know what happens when our tackles don't perform. We've seen the Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We've seen the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles. We have to have our tackles playing top notch, and it starts with Josh Simmons on the blind side there. Now, when we go to number 3, this is where we'll change over to the defense. And I think this is an obvious one for everybody because he's one of the 3 most important pillars on this football team, has been for years, and that's Chris Jones. Mike, we kind of teetered around with like maybe it's George Karlaftis because we got to have the second guy. But, he's been there. He's been doing his thing right at double-digit sacks every year. We talked about maybe it's one of the younger guys like Ashton Gelati or maybe our Mason Thomas coming in as a rookie, like somebody that can put some pressure on from the other side. And I think it all trickles back to Chris Jones because if Chris Jones isn't performing at Chris Jones levels, then it doesn't really matter what else you plugged into the defensive line because that's been what we've needed to do for almost a decade. Is like, can we get somebody beside Chris Jones here to wreak some havoc? Can we get some guys on the edge that can put some pressure on with Chris Jones? So if Chris Jones is not performing, then we're kind of back to square one.
Yeah, well, look, Chris Jones gets doubled and triple teamed a lot. You have to. So I would say that George Karlaftis is 3B. Like, if you're not going to make him the number 3, he's got to be that number 1 guy on defense besides Chris Jones because we seen him last year. He played through that hand injury. He wasn't getting home. His moves weren't working. There were several games George Karlaftis kind of disappeared. And if you're going to be able to double and triple Chris Jones, you've got to have somebody else creating pass rush. He just got a nice big contract. So is Chris Jones. He's playing in the midst of a huge contract. Right. These 2 guys have to perform up to this contract level. They have to wreak havoc this year. So they have to be 3A, 3B. These 2 have to go get it. I think it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of just blind optimism to say that our Mason Thomas has to go do it this year.
Yeah,
Peter Woods has to do it.
Yeah, right.
Gelati has to go get him. No, I don't think so
Norman
at all.
Lott's got to come back and be going crazy.
Right, I don't think you can say that in year 1 or year 2 they have to come in and just kill it. You cannot do that. The veterans on this team, I'll put Tonga in here a little bit. Khyiris Tonga.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. I was going to say that right there is a positive for what you said about Chris Jones, who obviously has to eat a lot of double teams and stuff. The Chiefs actually went to get Tonga on purpose because they saw that he kind of squashed that for people. Like he was drawing some double teams. He was getting people away from the other defensive tackle, and they thought that could be a way to get some heat off Chris Jones, correct?
Yeah, he had I don't want to misquote. I think it was like 11% win rate coming up the middle. And I mean, we know that he is more of a run stuffer. That's his thing. Right. But he was eating a lot of double teams with New England. He was getting to the quarterback routinely within that 2.3 to 2.5 second mark. So I do not think that you are going to be able to double and triple Chris Jones at such a high rate if Tonga plays up to the level he did last year. And then if George Karlaftis turns it on, the defensive line suddenly don't look so bad. That gives you a little breathing room with Gelati in year 2. Maybe Peter Woods kicking out the edge and learning the edge a little bit more. Maybe Omar Norman-Lott coming back from that knee injury. Felix maybe coming in and doing whatever.
Yeah.
You've got some rotational pieces there, but outside of Karlaftis, Chris Jones, and then I'll go ahead and put Tonga there. Those are your 3 veterans. Those 3 guys got to kill it.
I feel like the rest of it's all projection. Like this guy could be good, this guy could be good, this guy could be good, but we haven't got to see it yet fully. Right. So like there's nobody else. So yeah, I'm with you. So Chris Jones, super important. We'll move it on to number 4, and I think it just has to be number 4. This one could be one that you guys will argue with, but I think Travis Kelce is the 4th most important Chief coming in this year. And here's the deal. Everyone already says Kelce's done. He's washed. He should have retired. He stinks. We all know that this offense does not roll the way it had been rolling for several years without that chemistry between Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. If Travis Kelce's not performing, if he's not doing Travis Kelce type things, this offense becomes pretty damn stagnant. And we also know that the wide receiver room is also debatable right now, whether it's going to be good or not, because it's a lot of projection as well. I mean, you're talking about guys besides Rice in, a year and a half, and maybe the back end of Xavier Worthy's rookie season. I don't think any of these guys have really proved themselves either on the wide receiver room. So Travis Kelce becomes super important. And there's no one behind Travis Kelce in that tight end room. So I think Kelce has to be on the list. That's just me.
Kelce has to be there. You mentioned a lot of importance. There is nobody else behind him at tight end. Like Jared Wiley is out at tight end U right now. It would be a great year for Jared Wiley to break out and finally hit what we all thought he could do. It'd be excellent. Trey Watson, not holding my breath. Gillenborg's been injured. You've got all these guys, Brenningstool and Noah Gray. Could Noah Gray do it? I don't know. He's kind of sitting there on the fence.
He's shown flashes.
Right, he's shown flashes. But I don't think I want to just bank my whole season on him just yet.
Right, yeah.
So Kelce does become very important. Another thing that you didn't really discuss, Patrick Mahomes, we all know that we run this offense through a tight end. It's been like that for years. It was like that through even Bieniemy for the most part.
Right. Well, also 90% of the backyard football comes from Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes.
So Mahomes now is probably more restricted into the pocket. He's got to have a guy he trusts, a guy that can get open, a guy that can make plays in tight spaces, throw to tight windows. Travis Kelce's got to step up this year. He can't be distracted. He can't be zoned out. He can't be checked out. He can't be sitting there looking into space on the sideline. If he's coming back this year, come back with a vengeance. I do believe EB will hold him accountable and keep him fired up throughout this year. But Travis Kelce has to be good this year because there's nobody behind Travis Kelce, and that's why I think he's got to be there.
Right. Well, especially if they don't try to secure a veteran wide receiver. A lot of people think they still might try to go after Stephon Diggs, and that's a possibility. You never really know with Brett Veach. He might pull that rabbit out of a hat at any moment. But if they don't have that veteran wide receiver, Travis Kelce is that veteran wide receiver for those guys. Granted, he's a tight end, but he's going to have to be that voice for all the receivers because, it's what it is. Kelce's super important. So we can't have a Kelce's too old year. We can't have a Kelce's lost a step year. I think we need to see what he did last season at a higher level. And last season, he wasn't half bad. He caught a lot of flack, but he was the third most receiving yards of tight ends, or maybe second behind Trey McBride. And that was, old, lost a step, not good anymore, needs to retire Travis Kelce. So if he could come back this year and do what he did last year and step it up a notch or two. And it's it's not even about the stats. Like he said, he wanted to go for 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns, blah, blah, blah. It's not about the stats to me, Mike. It's more about that chemistry with Patrick Mahomes, more of that magic when you need it. There's so many, if you go back and watch the old games from the last, say, 8 years through Pat Mahomes' career, there's so many games that were hinging on some kind of magical little broken backyard football play where he yelled at Kelce and threw him the football in an awkward position in a broken play, and they scored and won games off of it. You know what I'm saying? We haven't had that. We've been losing those one-score games last season. So I think it's very, very important. Guys, appreciate y'all coming in here. Good to see everybody. Thanks for being here. Hit that like button for us if you don't care real quick. Let's see if we can pump this up a little bit. Mike got a comment from Joseph Murphy here. What you got?
He said Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquill should be top 5 combined. We spoke about this, talking about the defense, and that is I have to catch myself. I don't want to say it's a bad group. I don't think they're bad. I think they're very...
They're one of the lower-rated groups on the team, right?
Yeah, I think that they are underserved. I think that there's a lot of unknown. I think Coop McDonald could be an okay player. I think that could be an okay find. Even Wesley Basaint has a chance to make this team. Bossa could be good, but we just haven't seen it
yet. Yep.
I think that Tranquill, and I think that Nick Bolton has to have a good year because they can't afford to have a bad year. You just don't know what you got there. And I don't want to say they're a bad group, but they are a very underserved group. For some reason, Brett Veach has kind of let this linebacker group just say, "Hey, go out and play."
They didn't even try to draft. We thought in the draft. I mean, you had Golday from Cincinnati. There was Rodriguez from Texas Tech. There was the kid from Utah, I think, or BYU. I can't remember.
Yeah, Jack Kelly.
Yeah, there was like different guys that we thought they were kind of focusing on, and maybe they would add to that linebacker room. They didn't do it. They didn't do it with any veterans either, and they let Leo Chanel walk. So I'm with you there. So I think that they are pretty important. They just couldn't crack the top 5 for me.
Right. About time. Been a member for 27 months. Woo-hoo! He says 27 months. He said that's not right. I've been cheated. But he said, let's get a banana hammock while twerking stream. I don't know if you want to see that. Blue Chew Gold activated. You don't want to see it. That is the negative of Blue Chew.
Got to calm down about time. Got to calm down. It's not time to get that horn yet. TGZ, been a member for 31 months, outlasting.
He just says, about time's getting wild.
Yeah. Getting a little wild with it. Hey, it's okay. It's all good. I love to see the enthusiasm. There's not a whole lot to talk about right now. There's no Chiefs news. There's nothing going on yet. Everybody's waiting for training camp. Hell, man, I don't think half the people that watch football are even on YouTube at the moment. Don't even know it exists. So, yeah, it's good to see people a little excited, fired up. Gotta love it. But yeah, man, let's get back to the list. If you're just coming in, we ranked the top 5 most important Chiefs going into 2026. Lisa, yes, we still have Butker. And Butker was considered. I've actually seen people in the comments of the poll we did that said Butker. Because Butker needs to have a good comeback year. He was dealing with injuries the last couple of years, and he's not been the greatest. But we know Butker is ice cold. So, I mean, I think he needs to get back on the horse this year, though, and kick some ass, in my opinion. I think it's about consistency with Butker, right? Like with Butker, when we know we need it, it's like I never flinch, and he doesn't either, because that's just how he is. It's like ice cold blood. But you never know when he's gonna shank an extra point or miss a short field goal. And like that's the kind of stuff that has to disappear. Butker's got to be way more consistent this season.
Dude, what's funny is I was watching some old Chiefs film today. Went back and watched the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. I want to say it was like week 7, week 9 of 2020. Tyreek Hill had a monster game that game. I think he had like 2 or 3 touchdowns.
I miss him.
Patrick Mahomes was just throwing just darts and lasers. Butker missed an extra point. And I was like, was Butker always this bad at extra points? So I went back and looked. In the year 2020, Butker was our kicker. He converted 25 of 27 field goals, so he missed 2 field goals. But on extra points that year, he missed 6 extra points. 48 for 54. He is not very consistent with the extra point for some reason. But I bet if you
go to clutch field goals of Butker of all time, like if you go to like either game tying or game winning field goals all time with Butker, I bet he's 100%.
Yeah, like I trust Butker in crunch time usually. Let's hope it's not for a tying extra point.
Well, that's the thing. And Brian just said it in the chat. I don't think we've ever lost a game because of Butker missing an extra point. Now that I think it was a 13-second game, we very well could have, because he had missed, a field goal and an extra point that game. But of course, that worked out in our favor regardless. But yeah,
Butker took it to overtime.
Yeah, exactly. From like 49 yards or something like that. So, I mean, like I said, man, Butker, he's there when you need him. So it's nice to have. But either way, so far, we went 1 Patrick Mahomes, 2 Josh Simmons, because Patrick Mahomes has to get protected this season, coming off the injury. Number 3 was Chris Jones for obvious reasons. Number 4, Travis Kelce, because he is our veteran receiver. He literally is that. I know he's our tight end, and he's our only reliable tight end, mind you, but he's also the veteran receiver on the team. So he's got to have a huge year. And then number 5, that's where we went ahead and slotted in our new running back, Kenneth Walker III. And I think that's fair, because Kenneth Walker is a very important player for the Chiefs this year, or else they wouldn't have went out and paid him as much money as they did. You know what I'm saying? And this is the reigning Super Bowl MVP. Changing the dynamic of our run game, hopefully. And of course, there's a lot of other things that play into that, with EB coming back, getting DeMarco Murray in there as the running backs coach, all kinds of different things. Andy Reid being more focused on the run game, the Chiefs in general being more focused on the run game, obviously. But Kenneth Walker, The reason why we couldn't put him up higher than 5 was because we don't know yet what we have with Emmett Johnson. We don't know yet what we have with Amari DiMercato. We don't really know what we have yet with Brashard Smith. Now, I wouldn't say that he's going to be a bell cow, but these other guys, like, they could suffice as our running back if they absolutely had to. I mean, we dealt with Isaiah Pacheco being our RB1. We've dealt with Clyde Edwards-Helaire being our RB1 for years. So I think we could live with Emmett Johnson. I don't know that yet because we haven't seen him in the NFL, but from what I've seen of him play, we could live with that. Now, Kelce goes down, you're kind of screwed at tight end. Chris Jones goes down, the defensive line as a whole, gets a little sketch. But Kenneth Walker, he's still very important, so that's why we put him at number 5, though.
Yeah, I agree, Kenneth Walker, because
I couldn't have him at number 2 like everybody voted.
No, I understand why people voted that. And the reason they voted it is because we seen what happened when the run game sucked. We've got to have a run game. It's got to be fixed.
Yeah, dude.
Mahomes is also coming back from injury. I don't know how many more times we all need to hear that. But, yes, we have to rely on the run game.
Yeah, for sure.
So Kenneth Walker is very important. But I feel like Kenneth Walker, like you said, behind him, let's just say Kenneth Walker didn't get signed this year, and we signed DiMercato and drafted Emmett Johnson, and let's say we went out and found us another mid-tier guy.
Hunt or something.
Yeah, like kept Kareem Hunt, and then like we got Brashard Smith. I still think that running back room's better than last year's running back room. Kenneth Walker's going to take it to a whole new level, absolutely. But yes. I think with Kenneth Walker, you can't just pin it on Kenneth Walker. I think you now have to start looking at the offensive line in whole. We've got to get back to having pride in that run blocking game. I want to see people getting put in the dirt.
We got the guys to do it.
Right. I want to see our offensive line coach, Andy Heck, finally get some people developed and playing well as a unit. That would be amazing.
Just taking advantage of our interior offensive line, which is supposed to be the best in the NFL.
Right. And so Trey Smith is coming back this year, a little healthier. You've got Kingsley now on the other side that's in a second year playing at that guard position. And, of course, Creed, if you guys seen where he got, like, just completely shafted today, number 94 on the top 100.
Wild.
Ridiculous. The best center in football, and he's number 94.
That's what they think about centers, brother.
He's had...
But they used to put Jason Kelce way up high.
Yes, exactly. He's played 98 games. Off the top of my head, hold up. I think he's played 98 games his career. He's only given up 7 or 8 sacks. That is insane.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy. I really feel like Creed is very disrespected.
Yeah. Shout out Fred with the 2 bomb. Says, yo, brother, sorry running late. Better late than never, Fred. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for the support. Mikey Like Stuff says, USA, 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 USA. Yeah, let's go, baby. They're about to pop off here in a few minutes. So, yeah, don't leave us to watch it. You can watch it at the same time. It's going to be a long soccer game, I promise you. But, yeah, I'm excited to watch that as well. That's going to be cool. I appreciate the 5, Mikey. And he followed it up with a 2 and said, and the home of the Chiefs, baby. Let's go. That's freaking awesome. Are they playing in Arrowhead tonight?
I don't know.
No.
Probably not. No, I think they play in L.A. tonight.
Okay. I haven't looked at that part. I just know that they're playing here in a minute, but that'd be wild. Appreciate the support, Mikey. Guys, I want you guys to get in the chat and give me your top 5 most important Chiefs of going into the 2026 season. Like, just list off the 5 that you think are the most important, and I want to see kind of how close they are to what we ranked them. But I do want to see everybody's honest opinions on that, too, because I like everybody's, different perspectives, if you will. So,
yeah, Chiefs KC said the Dutch were playing at Arrowhead.
Okay.
That whole, dude, they took all down through there where they do the parade. They turned it orange. It was a sight to see today. Like, they took over Kansas City.
Did they?
It was amazing to see. I bet you there's a million people out there.
The freaky deaky Dutch.
Dude.
Let's go.
I don't know who won the game, but I don't know how you lose. Like, I don't know how you'd be so fired up you'd run through a wall out there.
Hell yeah, baby. I don't know, man. World Cup's crazy. Soccer gets you going.
Dude, we were watching one yesterday. What were we watching? We were at the Mexican restaurant watching one.
That was
with
a couple
bunch
days
of people.
ago. I think it was Panama and Croatia.
Yeah, and we were all just cheering, dude. There was some really good soccer being played between Panama and Croatia. Who'd have thought?
Hey, but back to football, not football.
football.
Let's go. Once again, guys, thanks for being here. Hit that like button for us. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should do that. That'd be awesome. But yeah, make sure you put your all's top 5 in the chat. See, Ray said Mahomes, Kelce, Jones, Rice, and Reed. Threw Coach Reed in the mix. I see what you did there, Ray. We kind of threw around Rice too because he's important. But then it's like, well, Kelce, he's kind of that guy for all the receivers right now. So it kind of, I think Rice is on that, teeter in the number 5 spot, in my opinion.
Rice is literally wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this. I think that Xavier Worthy's going to have a good season. Now, I don't know if he can get to what Rice gives us, but he's still decent.
I have that feeling too, man.
I just got some weird feeling about Xavier Worthy this year.
He's going to pop off, brother. We got America Patton in the house. Let's go. So Aloy Gilman is the second most important Chief this year. When the free safety and starting quarterback are in harmony, those two positions open up everything else like a fine old machine. It's so weird because this is not something a typical person would say, but it does make sense. Like if you think back to when we had the honey badger roaming around, like it just seemed like the defense was just like he was the quarterback of the defense.
Yeah.
And, so I kind of feel you on this one. I'm pretty excited about Aloy Gilman. I think that he's a good player, and I don't think that he's reached a ceiling, to be quite honest about it. Maybe he can really do that here in Kansas City and fill a big hole for us because we felt the absence of Justin Reed last year. We did. Shout out Justin Reed. He's a dog. But yeah, nice comment. I agree with that. Daddy Bar says Thornton is a deep threat that the Chiefs have been missing. Also could be true. And I think that they need to use him. They were doing it at the beginning of the season last year. It worked out pretty good. And they just stopped when Rice came back. So they can't be doing that. Mike, something else that I wanted to throw in earlier when we were talking about just the offense in general, but me and Pops have been watching a lot of older games lately. It's boring. There ain't nothing going on. We're watching a lot of the old games. And plus you can watch them on like YouTube and stuff now with like no commercials, no huddles, no nothing. You can just fly through them.
Yeah, it's like the condensed versions.
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes to watch a whole game. But I will tell you, it makes you miss the threat of Tyreek Hill. Like he was absolutely that guy. And
I've been watching a lot.
Made the offense completely different.
Been watching a lot of Chiefs offense with Tyreek Hill, and boy, it was something else.
We've been missing that Pat and Kelce backyard football the last couple of years. And the third biggest thing that I noticed that we missed in this offense is we always had the wrinkle of passing to a running back. Damian Williams killed people in the passing game. Kareem Hunt killed people in the passing game. Obviously, Jerick McKinnon did. Everybody knows that. Went off like a few years back. We have not thrown to a running back more than one time in I can't think of how long.
If I'm not mistaken, we would throw it to Spencer Ware and Charkandrick West a lot, too.
That was always a wrinkle in our offense. And even back when we still had the fullbacks, that was a wrinkle where we'd throw to Sausage, we'd throw to Mike Burton. And, we don't do that anymore. So it's like this whole thing just missing from the offense, making it that much more predictable and stagnant.
Yeah.
We got very, very one-dimensional over the last 2 years. And it showed. Obviously.
Dude, everything you said, again, I'll go back and reference that game because that's what I watched today, was the 2020 game, week 7, I think, versus the Bucks. We absolutely smoked them. Wasn't even close. Tyreek Hill was opening up the offense like crazy.
That was the same year they beat us in the Super Bowl.
We had
it's crazy.
We had McCole Hardman could have had a 90-some yard touchdown, drop the ball. That's how explosive we were. He literally drops
McCole Hardman, it's funny.
Nobody around him.
I watched some of those. Well, that's one thing I'll point out about all these old games. When Pat looked bad, it was because the receivers were dropping balls. Always.
Right.
Like Demarcus Robinson,
and
McCole
to your
Hardman.
point, there was a lot of Kareem Hunt. Well, Kareem Hunt wasn't there at the time, but there was a lot of Kareem Hunt when I was watching some of the older ones. In that 2020 year, they were passing to fullbacks a lot. You kept seeing the pass to the fullback. They almost scored on one, 22 yards to a fullback. So you had that element, and you had that, it's almost an element of surprise to have guys leaking out of the backfield
or at least a little check down type thing.
And especially when Tyreek was opening up the field like crazy, it cleared out the underneath.
You stretched the field,
crazy.
and then all of a sudden those little dump down passes to running backs turn into 20 yards.
Yeah, absolutely.
easy.
And it was a different offense. It looked so easy back then, and it looked so difficult for the past 3-4 years.
I recently just watched the playoff game against the the Texans, where I got strep throat and I couldn't go to the game.
Yeah.
When they were down 24-0 and then ripped off 7 straight touchdowns. I watched that game, and you really saw it in that game. Like the passing game to Damian Williams. It's just like, man, it's just a wrinkle we've been missing. But anyway, enough of that. Enough of dwelling on that. But Terry says Mahomes, Chris Jones, Josh Simmons, Kelce, and Xavier Worthy. I can dig it. Mikey says Mahomes, Simmons, Jones, Walker, and Butker. Totally valid. Sarge in the house says Mahomes, X or Rice, Jones, Delane, and Walker. Mike, did I not say that Delane could maybe make that list? I said it.
Yeah.
I thought he might be able to sneak in there because this is a guy that we took at number 6 overall, traded up to get him, and he has to replace Trent McDuffie.
I will say
Big shoes to fill.
That's a tough replacement. I would almost want to put Noah Williams above him, though, because Noah Williams has an experience of a year.
Yeah, but we didn't invest in Noah Williams.
But he now has to come in and be a big piece here. If Noah Williams were to struggle this year, you could almost say Delane's probably going to struggle at times. You can't have Noah Williams doing it too.
Yeah, like we'll see.
Think about it. If Noah Williams does not play
I hope
well
Delane
this year,
is shut down, brother.
Think about it. If Noah Williams does not play well this year, and just say he starts getting beat, starts getting handsy, starts giving like that Josh Williams vibe, before you know it, it goes from, dang, we found somebody that's awesome, like a ball hawk, to now we've got maybe a liability going into year 3.
Right.
It kind of turns on you a little bit. So I hope he has a good year. Christian Fulton's another one. Could be getting traded. That's what I've been reading there. I'm not for sure about that one.
He can't crack any list for me because he can't stay on the football.
Oh, I'm not going to put him on a list. I'm just saying Christian Fulton needs to play this year. Yeah. That's for sure.
Lisa says Mahomes, Kelce, Worthy, Walker, and Johnson. Let's see. Yeah, I think all those are valid. Appreciate the takes there. And then we got Mikey with a 2 bomb says, go already?
No. Yeah, 3-minute mark. USA put one on him. I updated it for everybody.
Bro.
I'll give you the update.
Mike, rip your shirt off. Run around, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. I can't show my breast on YouTube. Okay. We'll get kicked off.
It's against the rules.
It's against the rules.
Fred with the 5 bomb says, I think Khalil Benson is a third D-line. Ends have to get penetration and get those quarterback sacks. So I think, so a third defensive lineman, we talked about that too. And then Khalil Benson, if he ends up being who they go with at right tackle. Right tackle, I mean, you could have easily put Jalen Moore on that list and be like, he's got to step it up. But I think it kind of falls more on, dude, Josh Simmons, you have to be solid. Like, you're that dude. You're a left tackle of the future. Like, you have to have a solid-ass season with Mahomes coming off an injury. So I kind of took the heat off that right tackle debacle for now. But, yeah, those are very valid, Fred. Thanks for the support, brother. Real quick, guys, thank you for being here. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. That's freaking awesome. We got a lot more to talk about. We're going to start taking questions from you guys some more. But real quick, just wanted to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring tonight's live stream.
I'm excited to see the Kansas City Chiefs kick off the 2026 season. And just like you, I'm always looking for the best deal on tickets. Well, look no further. We've partnered with our sponsor today, SeatGeek, to bring you 10% off your next ticket purchase. SeatGeek has over 70,000 events listed from NHL, MLB, and yes, even the NFL. I used SeatGeek one time to get tickets to go watch the Chiefs absolutely demolish the Jets, and it was a great experience. And because I'm a little bit superstitious, I'm always going to remember that, and I'm always going to want to use SeatGeek to go watch the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. And of course, I have a code for you guys. You can use code CHIEFEDUP for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHIEFEDUP. So make sure you click the link in the description to go download the app and have the code automatically applied to your account so you can use it later. Now back to the show.
Let's go, guys. Go check out SeatGeek, man. They're awesome. Check it out. Get your tickets from there. Let them know All Chiefed Up sent you. We got, let's see, Flapjack's in the house. Mike said EB is the most important player for this team.
Coaching staff. I mean, I see it.
It's very huge. And granted, they're not on the players list. I like Ray snuck in Andy Reid, but No, man. I think the coaching staff is massive for this season. For one reason, Andy Reid letting last season get to the point that it did with the mishandling of the personnel and just outright bad decisions and outright just negligence from like Connor Embry and some of those guys and Todd Pinkston. I think that, these coaching hires are massive. Like getting EB back. Of course, what does everybody say about EB? Holds everybody accountable, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but there's much more to it than that. Mahomes was talking about how he's already introduced new wrinkles into the offense, a lot of different things. And it's just, he does hold people accountable. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't saying he doesn't. But there's more to it than that. He's just like a guy that the players kind of, they'll follow him a little bit. Like they get attached to him because he is a guy that will hold them to their highest standard. And I think people naturally want to please those type of people. It's just normally how it is. Gives you something to work for. Let's guys know that, I see that you can be better. You know what I'm saying? So that, and then Chad O'Shea hire is massive. Has to be. I mean, our wide receiver coach was just so not good. And when we saw it with all the talent we had on the team, the last team in the NFL in separation last year. Insane with all that speed. So coaching staff, huge deal for this season coming up.
Yeah, I totally agree. I seen in the comments people were talking about the corners. Brian Parrott made the point that if the pass rush takes care of business, the corners are better by default.
Absolutely.
We've always been proponents of that. People don't like that theory sometimes, that when we used to throw that
I don't know
out.
why, though? It makes total
We used
sense.
to say that if you fix the pass rush, it makes it easier on corners because you don't have to cover as long.
Exactly.
Quarterbacks can't hold the ball for 8 seconds. If you don't know, wide receivers know the play. They know where they're going. Corners are reacting, and now everything is a touch foul at this point. Everything's a spot foul. Mm-hmm. It's tougher on corners. Corners do not need to be covering for no more than 3 to 4 seconds. Max, go get the quarterback, or at least get him out of the pocket and turn it into backyard football. That's the best way to do it. It's all about Karlaftis getting home, finding that other side, whether it's Anyudike Uzama, whether it's Gelati, whether it's Peter Woods, whether it's R. Mason Thomas. I don't care who it is. Go find it. That's just the way it's got to be. I don't care if it's Chris Jones on one side and Karlaftis on the other, and then you've got Tonga and Omar Norman-Lott coming up the middle, or Peter Woods and Omar Norman-Lott up the middle.
I want to see some of these
I don't
young
care
guys.
who it is.
I want
Go
to see
get
some
it.
of these young guys break out. I would love to see
Yeah.
Felix actually do something. That'd be awesome. But I would love to see some of these young guys like Norman Lott coming back and actually getting a full healthy season. Ashton Gelati taking a step up.
Do you remember what week it was that Omar Norman-Lott got injured?
Like 4 or 5?
I thought the same thing. I was like, dude, didn't he get injured like week 3 or 4? It was like week 7 or 8.
That's still pretty early in the season.
It was early, but it was a lot later than I thought for some reason.
You got to think they play 17 games now, so.
Yeah, I think it was maybe just all the injuries that added up. Because remember, he was injured during camp too, because they kept trying to pack on weight, which a lot of people claim that may not have been the case. Not 100% sure, but.
No, but that was an odd experiment that they try to do with him, I thought. It's just a bad idea. Guys, really appreciate y'all being here. We know it's the dead of the off season. And to show my appreciation to you guys that are here tonight, I'm going to gift out 5 memberships to you. We have a members only live stream coming up here soon. It'll be within the next 5-6 days. And we're going to be giving away a signed Jaden Hicks jersey. So now there's 5 of you. Let's see who it is. We've got OK Sooners, Kelly, Ellie, Eric Brown, and Home 1390. Welcome to the crew. Now you guys have a chance to get on that members only live stream and win the signed Jaden Hicks jersey. Also, if you didn't get one of those memberships, you guys can go to join.allchiefedup.com and get your own for just $4.99 a month. If you subscribe to it, it automatically comes out. It's like way cheaper than that Planet Fitness one you're paying for, not going to the gym. It's way cheaper than that car wash one that you're only going to the car wash like once every week and a half. Yeah, I mean, go get
Week and a half.
It supports the channel. And
Brother, I haven't washed my car
$4.99
in
is
a
nothing in the year 2026. $4.99 don't get you a bag of Doritos.
Haven't washed my car in a month. Haven't needed to. It's rained every day.
Right.
We're in the middle of it's like April showers right now in the middle. We're going into July, and I don't think I've had one sunny day to enjoy. Hate it.
Let's go, baby. Man, I gave away 5 memberships and instantly like 50 people left the stream. They're like, screw you. I don't want your free stuff.
They're like, get out.
Get out of my face. Yeah, dude, it is flooding around here. I don't know. It's supposed to rain all week. All week. You know, spring and summer sucks. Fall and winter is the best time of year. It's football season. I mean, it just goes hand in hand, right?
Dude, it's just the seasons can't just shift. They're pushing further. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's April, and now it's like April weather in July. It's weird, and it's just annoying because now it's going to be hot on Christmas.
Oh, come on. Tired of that. Chiefer, thanks for pointing this out. Guys, if you are a member of the channel, you do need to be present at the members only live stream to be able to win the signed Jaden Hicks jersey. We'll normally try to put that out a little bit in advance, even if it's just a few hours or something. We try to put it out a little bit in advance so you guys know exactly when it is.
We're trying to get better. We're trying to do at least 24 hours notice.
Yeah, that way you guys know.
Yeah.
But you do need to be there, obviously, to win that bad boy. But thanks for pointing that out, Chiefer. Appreciate your work, brother. And all you other mods, shout out you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for everything you guys do for the channel. But yeah, okay, so we did our top 5. So what if we pushed it on to 10? What if these last few minutes we just speculate and we spitball because we did not plan to do this. But what if we all collectively tried to figure out if the top 5 is Mahomes, Josh Simmons, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, Kenneth Walker, who is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Where would you go at number 6?
You talking to me?
Yeah, talking to you. And I'm also talking to you guys in the chat. Let us know.
I would go ahead and go, since we didn't put him in the top 5, I would go ahead and put George Karlaftis there. You've got to have another pass rusher. He makes the secondary better. He helps Chris Jones. If Chris Jones gets double or tripled, he's got to be the guy to step up. And we need more defense all around. This is a young defense. It's an unproven defense. The offense is finally looking better on paper than the defense. You've got to have the guys that are staples here on the defense to actually perform. And so
you
I think
that takes precedence over Nick Bolton / Drew Tranquill?
For now, I will, because I believe pass rush is going to be more important than stopping the run. I think Nick Bolton does a good job of stopping the run.
I would also argue maybe Delane. So what do
I
you
think
guys
the pass rush helps the
I'm
corners.
okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm not arguing you. I'm just throwing out some ideas.
Right. Well, let's just say I put George there. Who are you taking
George
at
at 6.
7?
I'm going to go ahead and do Delane. And the reason why I'm going with Delane and not Noah Williams is because we did not trade up to get Noah Williams at pick number 6 to replace Trent McDuffie. We didn't do that. And I understand your perspective where he has had a year under his belt now and things like that. But I think there's a lot of pressure on Mansour Delane to perform right off the rip. I mean, they traded up, took him number 6 overall. And that basically told everybody that was our guy. Like, and also, oh yeah, Trent McDuffie's gone. You're going to be the new Trent McDuffie. He was an all-pro corner the entire time he was here. Good luck. So I think there's a lot of pressure on him, and I think he does have to perform because, like you said, that the pass rush goes hand in hand with secondary. So if you got Mansour Delane performing, you get no Williams performing. I think the safeties is kind of weak as that room seems. I'm not super worried about it if the pass rush could be fixed. So I just think the defense as a whole, it's kind of weird this year. But I feel like it's one of those years, like maybe 5 years ago, where you're going to see them perform their best after week 8. Like those Steve Spagnuolo defenses where he has a lot of young guys, a lot of new guys, and they're coming in here and trying to get it together, and it just takes a while for them to gel. And yeah, I didn't forget about Snead, okay, Sooners. He's not going to be taking McDuffie's spot with his old bum knee, but he is going to help on the outside big time. Huge. I love having Snead back. It's going to be awesome.
Okay, so Karlaftis at 6, Delane at 7. I'll take number 8. I'll go Rashee Rice. We didn't put him in, but we got to put him in now.
Okay, it's fair. Or
Rashee Rice
/ Xavier Worthy.
Sure, but I think Rashee Rice is the number 1 on this team. If there was a number 1, he's the uncertainty. Like, is he going to get in trouble again? Is he going to keep his head down and work? Is he going to avoid the suspension? There's a lot of if variables there, but Rashee Rice needs to show that he's learned his lesson. He's now going to, and these are big ifs, but if he wants the contract, which I don't think he's going to get at this point, maybe he does. Maybe he's already screwed himself to the point that it's so cheap, Brett Veach can't not do it. But I think he has to perform, because you did see through weeks, 7, 8, 9 versus the Commanders, the Raiders. When he come back last year, maybe the Lions a little bit, the offense did look really good, and then they kind of hit a sputter. And then at the end of the year, when he kind of stunk a little bit, like in the Dallas game and things, you've seen how the offense got back to not being good again. So I'll put Rashee Rice. I do think Rashee Rice has to step up. He's the leader, quote, of the wide receiver room. That's weird to say, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, unless they were to go out and get Diggs or somebody. So Fred with a 2 says, I have no sound. Is it just me? I think it's just you, Fred. If it's not your phone just being turned down or on mute or something like that, maybe just try refreshing the feed, and maybe it'll kick back in. But appreciate the support, brother. Hopefully you can get that worked out. And if he can't hear me, he can't hear anything I'm saying right now anyway. So somebody sign that to him. I don't know how to do it. We need one of those people that just sit over in the corner and sign language everything we say. And okay, I was getting ready to take 8 and 9 and let you have 10. And I tell you where I was going with it. I'm going pretty close to what Mikey's doing here with the 5 bomb. It says 8 is Butker. Okay, I was going to go 8 Jalen Moore or right tackle, fill in the blank right tackle. I still think that's a huge thing, because if Josh Simmons performs, if our interior offensive line is as good as everyone says it is, that right tackle is the only question mark on the offensive line, right? So I think that has to go there. And then I was going to put Butker at 9, because special teams is big, and yeah, we don't want to leave points on the field. So, and he's coming off of some injuries and some not so great years. So I think those 2 are pretty important. So I'm going to throw those 2 in there, and I'm going to leave you with number 10. And I know that's not very fair, because it kind of leaves you hanging, and I don't really know who I would put at 10 off the top of my head. But I'm going to read the rest of his comment while you're thinking about it. He says, a revamped running back room, hopefully retooled run game strategy. Absolutely. He will be queued up this year. Should see a lot more chip in field goal opportunity. I think so too. I feel like we don't get a whole lot of those, but here's another thing. Another way to look at that, Mike, is I don't like chip in field goals, because I want to score. When we are near the red zone, we need to get the ball in the end zone. But yeah, I think it's big for Butker to come back and have a good solid year. Yep, it's all you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm still thinking.
Yeah,
okay, if I had to pick one, and this may not be popular, but it's 2 players doing the same thing. I don't know who's going to win it, but it's 2 players doing the same thing. Whoever's guarding the slot. Kader Kohu, Jaden Kennedy.
So just a nickel.
Yeah, you've got to have somebody there, because, again, you've got to get Jamari Conner out of that position. Mm-hmm. That's been an Achilles heel for 2 years. That prevents us from stopping 3rds and 4th downs. It's been a problem. Brett Veach has tried to address it. I mean, he even drafted Kennedy pretty high for that reason. They've got to step up and do well. We cannot keep having that problem year in, year out. And this is the year that they tried to address it. It's got to hit this year.
Yeah, I can go with that. If I was trying to think of somebody else off the top of my head that's pretty important, we didn't throw the linebackers.
Linebackers was one, but I don't know who's the most important.
Yeah. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you. Okay, Sooner says this is a must, and I think he's talking about what you're saying with the nickel, because Jamari Conner was not that guy. That's not where he should be. He's out of position.
No, and we can't go back to him.
Yeah, no. But I don't think they will. I think it's definitely going to be Kader Kohu and Jaden Kennedy. Absolutely.
Kevin Knowles even. I think Kevin Knowles is a good football player. He's got a shot.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else, guys, that you think should have cracked the top 10? I want to see y'all put it in the chat.
Well, we've already heard of Lloyd Gilman. That's been thrown out. Mm-hmm. Would you consider Jaden Hicks? Is he in a make or break year in year 3?
Not necessarily, and that's just because of Spags and his weird use of personnel last
Right,
year.
But it felt like year 1 looked promising. Year 2, everybody said breakout. He didn't even get on the field. He was blowing assignments. Feels like year 3 is very pivotal for Jaden Hicks.
It is, but I think a lot of it just depends on if he can be on the football field, and a lot of that might be his fault. Right. We don't see practices. We don't know all that. But he has to get back on the field. And he has to perform. I mean, I think people were very excited the way he played football, reminding them of Honey Badger, and I think people got really pumped about him. And then all of a sudden, the rug was pulled out from under everybody in the second season. Because, I mean, everybody, even including Garrick Dieter, when we had him on the show, was like, I think the breakout player this year is Jaden Hicks.
Yeah, people were.
And
Yeah, they were on
so,
board
yeah.
with that one.
Well, you know, in the season of giving away a signed Jaden Hicks jersey that he signed for you guys, we'll throw him right there on the list. I think he does need to have a big year. But I can't think of anybody else. You guys throw out your ideas in the chat. Ray says he misses Willie Gay. Willie Gay, the only thing I really miss from Willie Gay, honestly, is his like energy that he brought. The energy that he brought to the team. You know, swag surfing over there on the sidelines, just being fired up all the time. He was like the Isaiah Pacheco of the defense, basically, you know, just energy. But man, Willie Gay had so much potential. He didn't quite reach it, but he was still a good player. But yeah, let's see. Brandon says the whole season will revolve around the run game on offense. Big plays and consistency have a big play threat at running back. I think so too. But I also think a lot of how this run game works this season is going to hinge on how the pass game goes. Because granted, they're looking at things a little bit differently. They're wanting to implement the run game more. They obviously put a focal point on that in the offseason by going and getting Kenneth Walker III, new running backs coach, bringing in Eric Bieniemy back. Andy's mentioned it a few times. But it's still Andy Reid. He's still going to pass to open up the run. I guarantee it. You don't put Patrick Mahomes on the football field and don't use him first. Andy's never going to do that. I would love to see them run more on first and second down. And maybe not just go out and run on second and long every time. You know, switch it up a little. Quit being so predictable. But I still think that a lot of how successful the run game is going to be this year is if Mahomes can get back in a rhythm this season and some of these receivers get open, which brings you back to Chad O'Shea being here, could be a huge factor.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think a lot of coaches could probably put a lot of coaches on the list. I know we talked about Andy and everything, but honestly, I think the biggest coach this year, I think there's two coaches that really need to step up and have good years. Andy Heck, we've already mentioned, but I think Joe Cullen, I think he's got a lot of young pieces on that defensive line. I want to see him develop these pieces. There's been a lot of misses on this offensive and defensive line over the past few years. A lot of bad, maybe they're just bad misses from the scouting department. Who knows? But like the Felix and Udike Uzamas and all these misses that we've had, I want to see these guys start to pan out. This isn't a year that we should miss. R. Mason Thomas is a heck of a football player. Peter Woods is a heck of a football player. I think we ought to be able to do something here. And even Omar Norman Lott, I was excited about him last year. If he stays healthy and they get him back down to a good size, let him rush the passer, which is what he does best. Don't worry about anchoring the run game. I ain't worried about it. Put him in on passing downs. I think that we'll be fine.
Yeah, man. I think so too. We have so much talent, like potential, I should say, on this team. There's a lot of players with really high ceilings on this team, and hopefully they can get around to it. Sarge in the house says at least we'll have running backs catching the balls again. I don't know if you were here earlier when I talked about that, but that's a wrinkle we've been missing, dude. That is a wrinkle we have been missing bad. So, yeah, I think Kenneth Walker can do that. And obviously Emmett Johnson is going to help in that situation as well.
Right. Michael asked, would you give Brandon Ayuk a chance? Steve, I feel like he's lost his mind.
Potentially. I would maybe give him a shot if it was cheap, but I'm not paying him what he thinks he should be paid. Not even close.
Like, he's starting to have, like...
CTE.
Yeah, like Antonio Brown vibes. Like, it's starting to get really weird with Brandon
he's an
Ayuk.
odd cat.
I don't know if I want
I tell you what, I mean, if you could get him for cheap, which is going to be hard to do because he thinks he's worth so much, then yeah, maybe. But I mean, we would consider George Pickens, and he's a little.
I would rather. Let's just say, what do you consider cheap for Ayuk? Like a year, $8 to $9 million?
Yeah, if he was in that Hollywood Brown range, yeah, maybe.
What?
And he's not going to do that.
Well, let's say he does. Mm-hmm. Would you rather give him the $8 to $9 million or Stephon Diggs?
Diggs.
I'd rather give Tyreek Hill $8 to $9 million than Brandon Ayuk.
I would love to see Tyreek Hill back in the Chiefs uniform. I don't care what any of y'all have to say about it. After I've been watching these old games,
I want to make sure he's healthy, though.
80% Tyreek Hill's better than anybody we have on the team. And I know he's 32, and he's coming off that nasty injury, and I know he's a pain in the butt sometimes, but good grief, dude. I'm not going to overpay him. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't pay him much money.
I don't pay him crazy amounts, but...
Debo Samuel's interesting. It's intriguing because he's kind of like that kind of guy that everyone says would be perfect in Andy Reid's offense.
He's kind of that Rashee Rice role.
Yeah, but he's obviously a lot more seasoned than Rashee
Right.
Rice.
But, I mean, let's hope Jalen Royals hits that. I was watching some film yesterday and actually posted it on X. I was watching some Sammy Watkins stuff, and Jalen Royals kind of gives me Sammy Watkins vibes. I wish he would turn into a
Jalen
Sammy
Royals
Watkins.
can be a dog. I didn't slap myself in the nut for no reason.
Right.
During the
He's
draft.
got that run after catch ability, that running
Yeah.
back with the ball in his hands
Jamar
kind of thing
Chase
that
type
Sammy
stuff.
Watkins did.
His tape in college with the ball in his hands was Jamar Chase type stuff.
Right.
Like
Like he
running
wasn't-
away from
Yeah.
defenses.
He wasn't Sammy Watkins at Clemson, that's for sure. But could he get it? Like, if he got 80% of Sammy Watkins, that's a hit. Like, that'd be a hit. That'd be great. I'll take 70%.
Who's the other IR recruit besides Tyreek Hill? I mean, come on. Who did I say? I mean, Tyreek Hill's Tyreek Hill. If he's not injured, if he can play, he's one of one, even at 80%. And plus, it's just like you're going to be able to get him cheaper than a lot of guys that are going to be able to play at his ability. And it's just bring him home, baby.
If Tyreek Hill can play this year, even at his age and coming off IR, if you popped him right on this roster, he's the best wide receiver
Hell
on the
yeah.
team, probably.
That's not even arguable.
Even if you wanted to argue and say he's no worse than wide receiver 3, and that's putting Worthy in front of him, and that's a stretch too.
I didn't tell anyone to bring Snead back, Pono. I never even vouched for that. I just said I'm okay with it. Yeah. Like, I was not a proponent to bring Snead back. I never have been. Snead, I feel like, fell off a cliff after he left the Chiefs, but it could be because of scheme. He could get back in the Chiefs scheme and look a lot better than he has in the last couple of years, but he's going through some injuries too. And plus, he had some off-the-field stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on with Snead, but I think, he could be beneficial just because of his experience.
What's the odds? Let's have like that that weight thing that you do and does this that scale. How odd?
What's the official name for the scale?
I don't know, a scale. Where do you weight it as if dead even? Do you think that Snead at the end of the year could have a better season than Mansour Delane potentially in 2026? Like, where would you put that? Because if you told me at the end of the year Mansour Delane struggled and Snead actually looked okay,
surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me. So if you can get 1 year out of Snead, was it a bad signing? And he's going to mentor the kid.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's a fair question because that could happen.
It very well could happen.
Now, I hope it don't. I hope Mansour Delane comes in here and he's
No, but Snead under a Spags defense could be pretty good. And if he's 60% of how he played that final contract year when we shipped him out of here, 60% Snead in that year is probably just as good as you're going to get from Delane.
I need some Revis Island type stuff in here from Delane, brother. We got Sarge with the 5 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go, baby. Right on time, too. You know, they have that members only live stream giveaway, that signed Jaden Hicks jersey. So shout out Wicked Willis, Orange Limes, Subtalks, Ruben Ramirez, and Bevanversfield. Sorry, I don't know what that says, but welcome to the crew. Welcome. Make sure to thank him in the chat if you got one of those memberships. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for supporting the channel.
Yeah, man.
You've always been awesome. So we really do appreciate you. But yeah, man, I think it's going to be a fun season in total. It's just like, I have a hard time believing that the Chiefs are going to repeat last season. I just do. Way too much talent on this team. And I will say they might not be what the Chiefs were back when they were in their heyday with Travis Kelce in his prime, Tyreek Hill in his prime, Sammy Watkins and all those guys, Kareem Hunt in his prime. But there is so much talent on this team. Like I said earlier, there's so much potential. There are so many players you could sit here and talk about. Like, you can endlessly list them. Like Noel Williams, Mansour Delane, Peter Woods, Ashton Gelati, Omar Norman Lott, R. Mason Thomas, Emmett Johnson. You could just Xavier Worthy. You keep going and going and going. Like, if these guys can reach even close, if they could scratch the ceiling, we would have a monster team here in a year or two. So I mean, it's exciting. Like, regardless if they only win 11 games this year or 10 games or whatever, I just want to see these guys coming into their own and start living up to the building. Because, I mean, there are a lot of promising players on this team. And a lot of young ones. So, Mike, real quick before we head out of here, I just want to shout out everybody for being here tonight. You guys are awesome. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Hit that like button if you haven't done that yet. I got one last question for you, Mike, and we obviously talked about this a couple times, but we haven't really dove into it. But we've been mentioning the receivers. We've talked about Tyreek Hill. You brought up Stephon Diggs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Just yes or no. Simple as that. And you guys in the chat, I want you to simple yes or no on this. $11 million. Let's say $10 to $11 million. Stephon Diggs, 1 year. Yes or no? Is it worth it? Because I would like to see him around a little lower than that, but I think he's going to want like 11 to 13. Honestly,
I actually watched him doing some workout today in Maryland. He was working out on Maryland Terrapin's like practice field. He still looked pretty decent. I mean, he put up last year. I think he's valuable enough that I would consider it.
I think there's a gap for him to fill.
But here's my thing. If you think Rashee Rice is going to play all year with no suspension, if you think that Xavier Worthy is going to have a good breakout year, and you think Tyquan Thornton could give you that MVS role, you drafted Cyrus Allen, who's been working his butt off. You've got Jalen Royals, who needs to show what he can do, and I think they have faith in him. Where does he kind of slide in? Like, who is he going to come in and take snaps from? Are you going to take snaps away from the MVS role? No, he's not an MVS role. So who are you taking snaps from? Xavier Worthy
taking snaps from?
They worked him out of the slot a lot, but it was primarily for a lot of like run plays too.
Yeah. What's up, Jazzy? Good to see you, brother.
I don't think you primarily want Stephon Diggs on the field when you're running the ball.
No, but Stephon Diggs can block. Stephon Diggs is kind of an upgraded Juju Smith-Schuster role.
Does it feel though like the Chiefs have chosen youth and they're just going to put their heads down and go with it? They're not going to let a guy come in and take developmental snaps at this point. Like they want Worthy and Royals to develop.
I'm saying this. If you could get him,
I'm with you. I don't think it would be a bad signing. I wouldn't hate it.
I would say if you can get him from 8 to 10, if you can get him from 8 to 10 million, then yes.
Right. I don't know if the Chiefs do it, but I would be.
I think I'm a player for that. Now, a little bit more, like even Welter in chat, 11 million is cheap for a 1,000-yard receiver. It is. Will he get that here? We don't know. But yeah, I think that's definitely something that I could play with, maybe, because I do feel like there is a need in that wide receiver room that Juju filled. Maybe not with stats, but with presence, with the dirty work, with leadership and things like that, experience. I don't know. Plus, like Yak YouTube says, Diggs wants a Super Bowl ring, so he might take less. I mean, he has yet to get one, and he's been very close.
Yeah,
very close. A handful of times with Minnesota and Buffalo, and the Pats, obviously this last season. I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's got that hunger, if he can keep his head on straight, and we can get him for a good price. I'd be hard for me to say no, but that's just me. Guys, appreciate y'all being here tonight. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for the gifted memberships, guys, and the donos and everything like that. Hit that like button on the way out if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I want to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring tonight's live stream. You guys can check them out down in the description. Get over there and use SeatGeek to get your tickets because they're freaking awesome. And we'll be back with more content this week, so be on the lookout, and we'll catch you next time. Go Chiefs. USA, USA, USA.